So the reason we base this on dragonflies is we looked at what's out there in the real world, and dragonflies, they hunt and kill all the other insects. So they outperform all the other insects. They hunt them down in air-to-air combat. The thing with dragonflies is they've had 300 million years of R&D in the fiercest battlefield you can get, which is out in the real world, fighting air-to-air combat, where the males fight over territories where they might find females, and the females fight over territories where they can lay eggs. And the consequence of that is that as an aircraft design, as a flight design, they're fantastically over-engineered. And you can see that when you look at how good they are at catching their prey. It catches it 9 times out of 10. So we've been inspired by that to develop these flapping wing vehicles. And part of the reason for that is I've been working on insect flight at Oxford University for 20 odd years, and we cracked the insect flight problems about 10 years ago. And one of the main things we learned is that dragonflies actually are probably the pinnacle of insect flight designs. It's going to have performance that's similar to a dragonfly, and if you watch dragonflies flying, the ones we get in Britain can do maybe 45 miles an hour. They can accelerate for short periods, for a few seconds, quite a lot faster than a Formula One car. They can pull 5G acceleration for a short period. And there are other species around the world. There's one called the globe skimmer that lives either side of the Indian Ocean, and it migrates across the whole of the Indian Ocean. So they're capable of really long-range flights, long endurance and high performance, and that's why they're a good target for us to try and mimic. Compared to a conventional helicopter-like drone or quadcopter, flapping has a number of advantages. The most obvious one is compared to a helicopter. With a helicopter, you've got the blades spinning, lots of inertia and gyroscopic forces in those, which means it's slow to maneuver. But the other problem is that one of the blades is going forward. So as you're flying towards into the wind, say, one of the blades is going forwards, the other blade is going back, and that generates a roll moment, turning force. And inevitably, that's what limits the speed that they can cope with. And the speed is what limits the wind strength that they can fly in. Whereas with these, they're completely symmetric. The left side's doing the same as the right side. So there's no roll moment. It's fully stable going straight level flight. But also you can control the thing at a rate that's the same as the wing beat frequency. So you've got really high bandwidth on control. So if you get turbulence and gusts in there, you can respond instantly and keep the platform doing what you want it to do, not doing what the wind is telling it to do. So timeline on these things. Well, 5 years ago, I don't think we would have been able to produce these. So what's driving development now is that, particularly through the mobile phone industry, the electronics, the cameras, and particularly the batteries have got much better. Smaller, lighter, more powerful. And that's what's allowed us to develop them now. So the big advantage this gives the soldiers is it gives them a small surveillance drone they can carry anywhere in the field and they can use in normal operating conditions. So it might be a bit windy, a bit dusty, might even be a little bit of rain, and these things can still operate. Already people have started using these very small drones as a way of getting surveillance information in places that are difficult to reach with other vehicles. What this is going to do for the soldiers is make that something they can do every day. So we're producing them down to a cost where the soldiers can use them without worrying about having to go and find them later, and we're building them so that they can cope with any kind of conditions that you might encounter in normal operating situations. And it's carrying cameras. It can work in daylight and low light conditions, so you can fly it around a corner, over a wall, into a compound and see what's there before you have to expose yourself to what's going on, which might not be something you want to see. It's nicer to see it with this than firsthand.